all over again, because usually when a superstar is absent from WWE for a significant period of time, when they come back after being gone so long, the general manager or WWE executives make them compete to earn the right again to become the #1 contender, because it will be weighed because of your absence and how long you were gone from the WWE. And the only thing positive that we have heard about AJ in the past few weeks is the fact that herself and CM Punk have gone public now with their engagement announcement. They recently announced that they were getting engaged, and that's really the only bit of positivity that's been thrown the way of AJ Lee and CM Punk. And I do congratulate AJ Lee and CM Punk for finally going public with their engagement announcement. They took a hell of a lot longer than what Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella did a number of months ago when they announced their engagement. And you see what WWE are doing with Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella after they went public with it. They immediately affiliated with what's going on with Daniel Bryan as World Heavyweight Champion. Everything that went on with himself and Kane, Daniel Bryan forfeiting the championship, and WWE having to make an impromptu decision on what to do with the championship. Stephanie McMahon saying that she could give the championship to Randy Orton, she could give it to Kane, she could give it to the COO Triple H, she could give it to Batista, she could do whatever she wanted with the championship. Very interesting storyline there. I don't see anything being done with CM Punk and AJ when AJ returns. The only thing I see being done with AJ is that she's going to be immediately reasserted into the Divas Championship title picture, because she deserves to be immediately reasserted into the WWE Divas Championship picture, and there is nobody out there, in my opinion, who should disagree with me on that assumption. I'm going to hold to that assumption because of how good of a champion AJ was. I mean, she successfully defended the championship against every opposition that was put in front of her, from Bella Twins to the Funkadactyls. She did it all in her reign as Divas Champion, and she should have no regrets from being Divas Champion. And if there was one regret that AJ possibly will bring up, is the fact that she lost to Paige when she faced her for the first time ever, and she didn't give Paige the fight of her life. That's the only regret I see AJ ever having about her reign as Divas Champion, that she wasn't able to defeat a rookie. And that's why I really think we need to see a pure wrestling match between AJ and Paige. We have never seen these two divas really go one-on-one. I mean, 5 minutes in a Divas Championship match that was an impromptu match that nobody expected. Yes, the element of surprise was there, but we didn't get a good exchange between two divas, and that's why we're relying now on NXT Women's Wrestling every Wednesday on WWE.com and live on the WWE Network from time to time. That's why we're relying on NXT The Next Generation to give us these women's matches the Divas division isn't coming through with on Raw and SmackDown, and that's why I think we really need to get AJ back possibly even sooner than what her return date is speculated on. I originally thought AJ had quit the WWE out of frustration after losing the Divas Championship the way that she did, similar to how CM Punk was forced to drop the championship to The Rock after holding it 434 days. And we know now why AJ Lee had almost just as long of a reign as CM Punk had as champion when it comes to a diva, because of their behind-the-scenes relationship, which was often mentioned by WWE fans. But obviously CM Punk was a driving force behind how long AJ had the Divas Championship, and WWE officials realized the potential in AJ's character. In my opinion, with how Caitlyn is no longer under contract with the WWE, AJ should have been the one to win NXT Season 3. She finished in the top 3, but she was the most impressive out of anyone on NXT Season 3. She was far more impressive than Jamie Keys. She was far more impressive than Naomi. She was far more impressive far more impressive than what Caitlyn was. Caitlyn wins NXT, and within a few months of her arrival, she's Divas Champion, winning the championship in her hometown of Houston, defeating Eve Torres, which led to Eve Torres' departure from the WWE. Caitlyn held it for a number of months, but in my opinion, with how Caitlyn is no longer under contract with WWE, is no longer a representative, with her out the door now, I think that AJ should have immediately won NXT, and within months of her arrival, the same kind of aspect should have applied to AJ. She should have immediately won the championship and had her reign after a few months of her arrival, after winning NXT Season 3, because when AJ came into WWE and she was losing in virtually every match she was in, either singles or tag matches, nobody thought that AJ was really going to amount to anything. But I always gave AJ the benefit of the doubt. If you go back to about a year and a half ago, when I first started doing AJ video blogs, I immediately jumped over the fences of negativity when it came to AJ, and I immediately started giving her the benefit of the doubt, because I believed that AJ Lee was going to be a future Divas Champion, and if not a future Divas Champion, she was going to be an on-screen character that was going to remain under contract with WWE for 8, 9, 10, 11 years, because there's so much potential with AJ's character. Even when she was the Raw general manager, she had this switch that nobody knew when it was going to be flipped. Nobody knew what AJ was going to do, and she was one of the most unpredictable characters in the WWE, and the Divas division ultimately needed her more than she needed the Divas division and the championship. AJ did not need the Divas division to become a superstar because she made herself into a superstar. WWE officials presented her with the opportunity, and she needs to be credited for making herself into the superstar that she is into now. I think that she's really evolved. She's really come into her own element, and there are far more words that can describe AJ's career and the progression of it than just impressive. Enthralling, amazing, incredible are some that come to my mind, and I'm sure there are words that come to your mind that I haven't even mentioned. Her fan base is getting stronger and bigger all the time. Everybody is in support of AJ, and I don't know why WWE got rid of her as champion and gave her a leave of absence with how fun she was to watch. Yes, you're probably tired of seeing the same Divas champion month after month after month with every Divas championship match, which is distributed on pay-per-view now. Big ups and props going out to WWE for distributing Divas Championship matches more often now on pay-per-view than actual television on free TV, giving us Divas Championship matches is a miscarriage of justice, in the words of Gorilla Monsoon, legendary announcer, because we should be seeing these Divas matches on pay-per-view because it puts the Divas division on a higher platform than what it's been put on for the last 5 or 6 years. Really appreciate how we're getting regular title defenses of the championship more than we're seeing the United States Championship defended, because it really puts the Divas division on a pedestal they're deserving of being on. And you may say to yourself, that's insulting. The Divas Championship is being defended more than the U.S. Championship is being defended, but it goes back to how much competition we're seeing within the United States Championship division. There is nobody for Dean Ambrose to defend the championship against, so there's no competition or reason to have the title up for grabs on pay-per-view. I think the next time we'll possibly see the U.S. title defended, if not before, it'll be Night of Champions, because every championship is on the line in every match on that pay-per-view card, and that doesn't happen until September. But at least until before September, we will see more Divas Championship matches, no matter who the champion is. It demonstrates a lot of great work ethic, and it puts the Divas division on the same pedestal as the TNA Knockouts division or the Ring of Honor Women's division, which are incredible divisions that WWE should have been striving to compete with long before now. It's only now WWE are realizing the potential that goes with the TNA Knockouts division and the Ring of Honor Women's division, and that is really frustrating coming from the point of view and perspective of someone who has followed women's wrestling for years. After all, I'm the most attractive man in internet radio, so you would expect me to follow the women's divisions in every federation, and especially the WWE Divas division, where there is an incredible amount of diversity. And that's why I want to see AJ work with the Lanas, work with the Pages, because there's an incredible amount of diversity that's put forth now in the Divas division. It's never been distributed this effectively before, especially on NXT The Next Generation, where you're almost guaranteed every week to see at least one women's wrestling match, and if you don't see it, you see something going on with a diva and a superstar in a backstage segment to promote a storyline. One of the two of them are doing, if not both of them. So I really appreciate how the Divas have been written into the script of NXT The Next Generation, and how we're seeing great women's wrestling matches. It's kind of like how ECW back in the day provided us every week with good wrestling. Sure, it was only 45 minutes worth of wrestling on a 1-hour show on Sci-Fi or WWE.com, but it was good wrestling. When Raw and SmackDown wasn't coming through, you had ECW to rely on. In the first few seasons of NXT, you had NXT almost to rely on just as much as you had ECW back in the day, because NXT was the talk of WWE at least through seasons 1 through 3, and especially when they brought in the Divas, even though it was termed train wreck television, NXT seasons 1 through 3 were incredible seasons of NXT, because from season to season you saw the seasons changing up, you saw different cast members, and you saw people with potential for the future in WWE, like you're seeing now with Total Divas, and how the Divas division is being promoted with Total Divas Season 2 now every Sunday on the all-new E-Summer lineup. It's great that we're seeing things being done with both NXT and the Divas division, because those are two profitable things that we should be reviewing more as radio show hosts and columnists. And I hope that in months to come, people are going to review the Divas division more than what they have over the past 5 to 6 months or even years, because of how much potential we see in the division. I really love this international feel that's being brought forth to the Divas division. You have American divas, you have Russian divas, you have English divas in the way of Paige as Divas champion. I mean, when was the last time we had an English diva as Divas champion? When was the last time we had a Russian representative in the Divas division, or a Lithuanian like Oksana? I mean, Oksana and Lana really appreciating the diversity they're bringing to the division and really appreciating the competition factor that AJ has brought to the Divas division. She could be potentially what she's been professing of being for seemingly forever, the strongest, the most beautiful, and the most talented diva in the division. And all you have to do is go back through my previous AJ video blogs you can find on my YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to at Jonathan Clarke 22 to really get put into perspective for you just how probable of a future AJ has in professional wrestling. I was really depressed when I thought of the possibility of AJ possibly leaving the WWE, but there are rumors floating around now of her return, and hopefully she'll be back, if not before, as early as SummerSlam, because I really think we need to get that AJ Lee Page match in there, the pure wrestling match, either on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, whatever, even on pay-per-view. We need to get it in there to really put the Divas division on a pedestal. It's more than deserving of being on. Great work ethic, guys. You need to have a thumbs up and be given props for that, and that's why I'm doing this video blog on the possibility, hoping the possibility of AJ's return in WWE has never been higher, and in 2 or 3 months' time we'll be talking about how AJ has reasserted herself as either the #1 contender, the Divas champion, and if not that, one of the greatest divas of all time. Really appreciated what she said in a promo. I think it was the night after WrestleMania 30 when she said she was the greatest diva in the world. Nobody could get the better of AJ because of how she came from being a poor girl in New Jersey to becoming not only the WWE Divas champion, but possibly the greatest diva in the entire world. Really appreciated that promo. You'll have to find it on YouTube. It happened before the AJ Page match, which was just under 5 minutes before Page won the Divas Championship because they knew AJ was leaving on a leave of absence from WWE, but I really appreciated that, and I really hope that AJ comes back to solidify her legacy and prove once again, if not all over again, that she is the greatest diva of all time. I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke. You can join the conversation with me on Facebook at EGW Entertainment.